Hello friends! Welcome to a vlog. This is a video to discuss Kingdom Come Deliverance, my final thoughts, and what are my plans continuing on the channel since I'm done with the game, technically. A lot of you guys came to my channel because of Kingdom Come Deliverance, and I thank you very much. Bella! As soon as I start recording, she's just like, mrrr, mrrr. Anyway, thank you all for joining me for my Let's Play. I have finished recording Kingdom Come Deliverance today. There are 50 total episodes. 50 total episodes of the series, and that's including the epilogue, which was rather unexpected. This video will go out probably like next week sometime because the final episode won't be out until then. But I just want to talk about my final thoughts on the game and then let you guys know my plans for the channel, coming for the DLCs and all that stuff that's coming out eventually. First of all, of course, my strongest feeling that I have right now is sadness because I've been recording Kingdom Come Deliverance and playing it and enjoying it thoroughly since it came out on February 11th, I think, wasn't it? I'm pretty sure. But yeah, every week I've been playing that game and recording it, and just the best thing I can say to kind of explain the feeling that I have while playing Kingdom Come Deliverance is that it's just like sheer unbridled fun. I mean, that does happen in games a lot, but really it's pretty rare, at least for me nowadays. There's not very many games besides Morrowind and Skyrim, and there might be a couple others. Another recent one that I played that I had the same feeling was Max Payne. That was a couple years ago. There might be one that I'm forgetting. Of course, I'm having a good time in Vampire too, but it's not the same kind of fun. This probably sounds really stupid, but like, I don't know, Kingdom Come Deliverance is not only an amazing RPG, but it has so much charm and beauty and love put into it. It is the most gorgeous game. I feel like it should win awards for how freaking pretty the environments are and how much intricacy and work went into the buildings and the historical accuracy in the game, and even the characters are designed so well. And for what Warhorse Studio had, you know, to their devices, their financial support and the software and tools that they had, and the number of employees that they had to make this game, it is an amazing accomplishment for them. And so I'm glad that this game exists. I'm very glad that I got to play it and that I got to share my experience with you guys, and just, it was a sheer privilege to play this game. Bella, stop it. Sorry, you're probably gonna hear her throughout this video. I can't help it. But yeah, I'm trying to think of some like bad things. Obviously there were some bugs. I had maybe 1 or 2 bugs where I had to reload a previous save to continue. The main one that I remember is that Radzig didn't appear somewhere when I was supposed to talk to him, but that was patched like immediately after I ran into the issue. So, and I have kind of a pretty thorough understanding of how video games work, and so I tend to be pretty chill when I run into bugs and glitches. I'm pretty understanding on that front. So, and I also have a lot of experience playing open world games like Skyrim, which is riddled with bugs, and basically anything with Bethesda is riddled with bugs. But believe it or not, I kind of find that a little bit charming, and the fact that Kingdom Come Deliverance had some of the silliest glitches. Where did they kill my horse? I'm wondering why I still have a horse inventory. Oh! Oh! Pebbles! Pebbles! Oh my god. Oh. Physics or otherwise, it kind of made me feel at home in a way, because I'm just kind of so used to that, and that may be a bad thing, maybe a good thing, depending on who you are. But as, you know, as long as I'm having fun with the game and something like that happens, it's just like, I don't know, I just roll with it and I'm like, oh god, that's hilarious. Thank you, game, for this gift of cheesy humor that you've given to me on this day. But of course, like, as you play these games, especially these open world games that have so many scripts going and different, the player can manipulate the game in so many different ways that it's really hard for the developers to figure out what the player is going to do at all, because people can do things in so many different ways, or in a different order, or have a different item on at this one particular time when something else is happening, blah, blah, blah. I mean, there's so many combinations of events that could occur that it's almost impossible to figure out everything and test every possible scenario in a game like this, which is also why Skyrim is so buggy, and Oblivion and probably, I don't know if Morrowind was that buggy, because I don't remember when I was young and played Morrowind. I really do not remember the bugs, but I definitely know that Oblivion and Skyrim were like that, and it's just part of the game. And I think that Kingdom Come Deliverance is not an exception to that, but it also didn't ruin my gameplay experience, and so I accept all of the glitches that I received. I accept them as gifts from the game gods. Because they made me smile and they made me laugh. 1 or 2 times they made me upset, but it wasn't a big deal to go back and replay like 5 minutes. I know that some people lost like a couple hours of gameplay, maybe even more, which is another thing I would like to talk about, which I find very interesting, and that's the save system. Now, when Kingdom Come Deliverance came out, the save system was very different as to what it is now. There was no saving upon exiting the game, and so it was, people were like up in arms and freaking out about how it was too hard or whatever, and I didn't think it was hard. I liked it, but a lot of people did. The only thing I didn't like about it was because I'm recording the game and I want to end an episode at a certain point, but I can't because I don't have a savior schnapps or whatever. And so at the very start of the game, that was troublesome if I couldn't find a bed to sleep in. But if you're just playing the game normally, and if you know the game and like understand the spots where you're supposed to rest and save the game, it's not really a problem anymore. And especially, I found it after they added the exit to save function in the game. I found it way too easy. Like the save system might as well have not even like been there, because it was just way too easy. I had 15 savior schnapps. I never used the savior schnapps because I never had to anymore, because I would either rest in a bed or a quest would save my game, or whatever else. There's that, I think it's, okay, quest save your game, sleep in a bed, save your schnapps, save and exit. I think those are the 4 ways to save your game in Kingdom Come. And my main problem early on was that I wasn't doing the main quests. And most of the quests that save your game are the main quest. So, and that's fine. Like, you're not forced to do the main quest at all because it's an open world game. But early on in Kingdom Come, I did learn that it's much easier to stick to the main quest for a little while until Henry's like pretty strong and ready to explore. But that all comes with playing the game. And still, even having done that before the save system was updated, I still didn't have that much of a problem. So, I don't know. I guess that's a personal preference type thing. But I hope that in hardcore mode, they maybe rework the save system a little bit again. Because I would like to see the difficulty of that back. And I would like to experience kind of like, oh shit, oh my god, I'm gonna die and I don't want to lose all my progress kind of a thing. I like that to a point, but I don't know, it's difficult to say what I want on that front, but I just feel like at the end of the game it was way too easy. Not even just the end of the game, like the middle of the game. Ever since they patched it and added the save to exit thing, I felt like the save system just didn't even matter anymore, which I thought was kind of a shame. But I know some people really liked it, so it's, whatever side you stand on. Let me know in the comments below what you thought. Did you have the same thoughts that I did in the end about the save system? Or were you just like, thank God they fixed it, I hate the save system? Another thing that I would maybe really like is to have it an optional thing. Like, to be part of hardcore mode, maybe. or something like that. And I think that maybe would have been a good idea to do from the beginning, because it would have saved them a lot of people complaining about the save system, which is really interesting to me. There's a lot of things that are really interesting to me that I found out about the gaming community when playing this game and kind of listening to people talk about it. And people had a lot of negative feedback, especially in the beginning, and I couldn't really understand it because I've talked about this a few times, and I believe that Kingdom Come Deliverance was created for a certain subset of players and not for everyone. And there's a lot of people that came into Kingdom Come Deliverance expecting it to be like Skyrim, and it's not anything like Skyrim. I don't know. I almost want to call it like a hardcore RPG, but it's not. That's not really a great way to explain it. And I just mean that it's more complex in its mechanics, and it's more difficult in its mechanics, and it's also more linear in the story. And people seem to think that an RPG is supposed to be a game where you make your own character and you put all your stats in, and like D&D. Basically what D&D created in video games is supposed to be in every RPG, but people seem to forget that a role-playing game just means you're playing a role of a character. That's all it means, technically. I think that gamers over time have kind of changed the meaning of the term RPG, but that's for a whole another discussion. Maybe we should have like a term for stat-based RPG and character creation RPG versus RPG that's just like a linear story and you play the role of a character. I don't know. Maybe we need another term for that because they're really not the same thing. At this point in gaming, there's so many different types of RPGs that it's really hard to say what is what and what is a true RPG and blah, 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 blah. But anyway, I just thought it was interesting that there were so many complaints about the game. I had no complaints myself when it came out. To me, it was a breath of fresh air for the gaming industry and for RPGs in the category of RPGs in general, because a lot of times, at least in recent years, developers have been creating games to get the widest viewer base, and in doing so, they kind of have to eliminate some of the additional features that they may have been planning to add, or for lack of a better term, dumb down the game so that it's more approachable to new players, maybe people that aren't used to the series or that aren't used to video games in general, because there are a lot more people becoming video game nerds or enthusiasts in recent years. It's kind of a new hobby. So, at least for some, I'm not saying for everyone. A lot of people have been nerds, since the 70s, but that's back then you were kind of laughed at if you were a nerd, and now it's like a cool thing to do, right? That's my comparison. So it's really refreshing to see game developers branching out and not being afraid to just do what they love and just make the project that they want to make and not care that, a wide variety of gamers aren't going to like it. I think it's really brave and really cool that Warhorse got to do that. And so I give them like 25 high fives. High five, Warhorse. Thank you so much for making this game. Yeah, it wasn't as popular as Skyrim and whatever, AAA games that are created for a broader audience, but for the people it was created for, it's stellar. It's so good, and people, I think, love it, and that's important. That's especially important to me, because I get really emotional about video games, and Kingdom Come Deliverance is probably my favorite game created recently. That I just felt like I was really into it, and I feel really close to the game, and it just felt like it was my kind of game. It felt like it was a game that was made for me to play, and that's what I love about it. It's like the best way I can kind of explain it to you guys. I don't really know how else to, but sorry if I'm blabbing. This will be a blabby vlog. I've already been going for 15 minutes and I haven't talked about anything, but that's just my initial feelings after finishing the game. I absolutely loved it. I have one main criticism, which is the ending of the game, and I think a lot of people had this criticism. It was really unclear where the end was, and I feel like the epilogue was good, but I think they should have, just made that a cutscene or something. Like, just made it a long cutscene rather than having the player play out that last little part with Hans, because we were asked like 5 different times if we really wanted to end the game. And that could have easily been placed earlier on at the end, like right before finishing the siege, right before starting the siege maybe, saying like after you talk to Robard, you could have that pop up saying like, are you sure you want to do this now, blah, 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 blah. Now, given it wouldn't really make sense to have Robard wait around, so, you know, story-wise, because then Henry would, like, go off and do, like, 5,000 other quests, and then all of a sudden, Robard just waits there with his army. That would be kind of silly. So maybe there's some other little place in between the story after the castle siege takes place. And also, on the subject of castle sieges, I guess I'm not really picky about this, but I do remember hearing that there would be a castle sieges in Kingdom Come Deliverance, and there really wasn't. I mean, technically there was, but it was pretty meh. You know, it was more like fighting 10 guys in a small hallway on the like top of the barricades or whatever. It was pretty, when you're fighting a group of guys in Kingdom Come Deliverance and you're like one of the people in the army, it's really goofy. It doesn't feel very, you can't really use your combat strategies that you use throughout the game when you're fighting one-on-one. It's a very different experience in combat when you're in a battle. And mostly you just sit there kind of like swinging your sword or your mace or whatever and hoping to hit people. And the AI is just like really goofy. They'll just like whip around immediately and hit you, even if they're not looking at you, because they're aware of the player being behind them or whatever. Even if they're already attacking someone in front of them, they'll just zip around and be like, hey, shoop, shoop. That's a mace, by the way, shoop, shoop. And that didn't bother me too much because I understand the constraints of the game. But I do remember that I was pretty excited for the castle siege part of the game. Especially in the beginning, I was like, oh god, this is going to be so badass. I can't wait to do a castle siege. And, yeah, I kind of wish that was a little bit bigger. But maybe that's something that they're going to add later on as well. That would be really cool if they could make that a little bit awesome and more epic. Maybe when we finally get to defeat Sigismund and his army, we can go against his castle and siege it and have kind of a Mountain Blade scenario with really low textures so the game doesn't crash. I don't know. That's another problem too. Like, the game is so beautiful, and the view distance is pretty great that if you have that many characters on the screen at once, especially with not so great PCs, there's almost no way that your computer could render that many characters battling all at once. So there are limitations, definitely, and I understand why it is how it is, but that's just something else that I noticed. What else? There's one other thing that bothered me that I know they are actually adding. I'm pretty sure one of the DLCs is for Teresa. It was a very, very lackluster romance between Henry and Teresa that left me feeling a little bit disappointed in the end. And I almost kind of wish I didn't even do it because, I don't know, Henry doesn't make any... He's really distant, and Teresa's not like all lovey-dovey either. They're like, okay, we're together now. We had sex in the barn, and then that's it. Bye. And Henry he's not very emotional about any of that. He's all about his current quest and getting the sword back and what's going on, which makes sense. But the romance just seemed a little bit like an extra thing that didn't really matter to anyone, and so. I'm almost unsure if it wouldn't be better if the romance was like, the whole complete romance was just a separate DLC, not just the beginning part, because, I don't know, it just seems so awkward and weird. I don't know if that was just me, but it really did. It just didn't seem like it was necessary. I mean, it was cool that we could do that, but, yeah, I don't know. I was left feeling slightly disappointed with that quest, too. quest that I absolutely loved, at the very end of the game, I did a quest called Masquerade, and I screwed it up because I did it at the end of the game. I wasn't able to continue on to the next part, which I'm sure would have been awesome. And when I do a playthrough another time, I will definitely try and do it. But it was a really silly quest, and there was a lot of really silly things that were in the game just to be silly. You know, even like weapon descriptions, and if you inspect items in your inventory, there's little funny blurbs of text that are just goofy, and I really like when that is in video games. And this quest in particular was it was annoying. Don't get me wrong, it was very annoying to complete because it's a big fetch quest. And it's a ridiculous one at that, because Henry has to go get these cumin outfits from Cumins, so that he and his friends can dress up like Cumins to terrorize the bandits. And then he brings back Cumin outfits, and his friends are like, "What are you talking about? These aren't Cumin outfits. Cumins are terrifying." But Henry is just like, "What do you mean? I literally just killed Cumins and took their outfits." So then you have to go on an elaborate quest of getting a costume together that looks like it looks completely ridiculous, and doesn't look like a cumin, but that's the quest. And apparently after that, there's another quest that I didn't get to do because I did it at the end of the game. But I really liked that one, and there was just so many characters that I loved too. I think my favorite character in the game was Hans. He was really fun. I'm pretty sure there's a DLC with him as well. And if there is, I'm very excited for that. I don't know if I really have much else to talk about. I'd really love to hear what you guys think about Kingdom Come Deliverance if you finished the game. What were some of your final thoughts? Do you agree with all my points? And did you love the game? What score would you give the game on a score of 1 to 10? You know? If you forget about all the bugs, like, don't give it a 0 just because you had a bug. Not everyone has those bugs. Some of bugs are just, like, one-time only things that they can't help. And, I get it if you couldn't even play the game. That does suck, but, you know. Giving the game a benefit of a doubt, I guess. What is your score? Mine is probably 9. I really loved the game, despite all of its issues, and I want to play more. This is definitely going to be a game that I go back to often, and every time something is added, I will be right there on top of it, experiencing it, and hopefully sharing it with you guys. I think the game will stay strong. I could see it being a game that has some decent modding support once they actually make it easier to mod the game, which they did announce is coming. So once that happens, I'm hoping that people will still be interested in the game enough to create really cool mods for it. I would love to see a mod that allows us to skip the story, kind of like the alternative start mod for Skyrim, and maybe add more encounters and just enrich the world a little bit more. Maybe add more creatures and more armor sets and weapons and just cool stuff like that. Maybe some more survival-y type stuff to make the game a little bit more challenging. However, that stuff might come in hardcore mode, which I'm really looking forward to playing as well. But yeah, I think there's a lot more to come from this game, and you guys can expect to see more from my channel. This has just been a little bit of a look at my opinion on the game and what I thought about when I finished it. I wanted to record this right after I finished the game because I wanted, you know, my thoughts to be fresh and everything. And those are my only complaints. Everything else about the game was freaking phenomenal. I'm not even just saying that. I adored it. And people have been saying, like, there've been comments on all my videos basically saying, like, oh, Warhorse paid this girl to play the game. But nobody realizes that, like, I actually love the game for some reason, which is hilarious. But Warhorse did not pay me anything to play the game and did not give me a free copy of the game or anything. I just love the game. I've been looking forward to it since it was announced. Well, I learned about it shortly after they actually started talking about it, but I was following it for like a couple of years before it actually came out. And yeah, I remember favoriting the website and then checking back every couple months to see what was going on. And yeah, it was just so great. And I also should thank Warhorse 2, because this game is what brought over 10,000 people to my YouTube channel. And if it wasn't for this game, I I definitely wouldn't have over 20,000 subscribers, let me tell you. So I guess that brings me to my next point. Like, what is next? What is next? The DLCs, obviously, when they come out, and any other stuff that happens in the game, modding, I will be covering that stuff. But otherwise, I am going to be increasing the rate of Morrowind, the Morrowind Let's Play, and probably there will be new stuff as well. I'll be playing more Vampire, and whatever else is on the channel will just be more frequent, because now this game is done. For now. For now. Not done forever. For now. So anyway, that's that. If you have any questions for me, let me know down below. Check out all my links. Check me out on social media. Follow me on Twitter for video updates. Click the bell on YouTube. Turn on all notifications if you want to be notified for any more Kingdom Come Deliverance videos that I release. And I'm going to be doing Elder Scrolls stuff and Fallout stuff on the channel coming up as well. Fallout stuff not right now, but I do have a series planned eventually for that. But I'm always doing at least one Elder Scrolls and one Fallout series thing on my channel. So, you know, it's going to be there. It's there. It's always there. It's been part of my channel since I started the channel, so it's probably not going away. But yeah, and if you want to check me out on Twitch, I do live streams every week, and I play lots of fun, cheesy games there as well. I might even do some Kingdom Come Deliverance when hardcore mode comes out, just to check it out before I do a series on it. So yeah, follow me on Twitch as well. And that does it. That does it. Thank you, friends, for joining me for this amazing Let's Play that it's my favorite Let's Play ever so far on my channel, and it really means a lot to me. I'm very sad that it's done, but I just have to keep telling myself there'll be more. Because there will be. I hope you guys come back for that, and I hope to see you then. Thank you so much for all your support on the series, and just in my channel in general. Thank you so much, guys. I'll see you soon for more. Bye-bye.